Happy Scrappy Wednesday. So this week we are doing another upcycling card since I have another birthday this month. This time it is my friend Angela's birthday, and I picked this card in my collection because her apartment is like filled with plants and whatnot, so I thought like having a little callback to that would be good. There's not really any flowers, but I don't really have any other old cards that are like specifically just plants, so I was like, flowers are technically plants, we'll go with that. So to start off, I used the bottom part of the card that I cut off and used the opposite side, so it would show the yellow paper that was part of the card. And this card is actually a lot less rippable than last week's card. It actually took me a lot less time just because I liked the design of the main part of the card so much that I really didn't want to like destroy it too much, and I was kind of thinking like, how am I going to destroy it without it looking like crap anyway? So my main objective was just to add a little bit of layering from the back and then do this kind of like make the paper look like the flowers are growing so intensely out of it that it's like pushing everything away. I saw that technique on Pinterest from another card. I honestly can't find the one I was referencing at this point in time, so you'll just take my word for it. But I distressed it a little bit more so it looks like it's been worn and like slowly getting aged coming out. And I did it around the rest of the edges too, but in a very finer edge. And started with the smallest flowers that I had in the color cohesion. I have a lot smaller flowers, but I only have the blue versions, and there is clearly no blue on this card, so I always try to use colors that are part of the original design so that everything ties easily together. And I figured it looked the best when I would rip off the green leaves of the flowers, but I did keep the green on some of them just so it looks a little bit not too uniform, you know? But weirdly enough, this last one that I tried to put on, I had a lot of issue ripping off the leaf. I don't know why, it took a while, but I eventually got it. With scissors though, so I kind of cheated a little bit, but regardless, as long as it's off, it's fine. So my next challenge was covering up the Your Kindness Made a Difference. So I was like, this is a birthday card, not an appreciation or sympathy card. So I didn't really want to like cut up the butterfly around it or anything like that because it's just like such fine details that if I tried to cut it and like make it a lifted embellishment, it would just not look good. So I found some brown paper that blended with the color scheme. Obviously these that design, I don't even know what it's called, doesn't 100% go with the look and feel of this, but you use what you got. And next I wanted to add a little bit more of a subtle detail, so I punched out some of these paper butterflies, but I was using the paper that I used last week but in a different color. It's very, very fine, very, very fuzzy kind of paper, and it was a bit hard to make the butterflies like actually look like they're flying since the paper was so small, but at that point they were already glued down, so I was like, you know what, we'll know for next time to not use that paper for that specific reason. So if you want them to look more 3D and you're trying that kind of thing, make sure you're using thicker paper. So there's a little bit left over petals from when I was ripping off the green parts of those mini flowers there. So I thought it would look cool if it looked like the petals were like falling off the flowers from there. So that's why I just kind of like scattered them. And then I didn't have to throw out perfectly good pieces. So that works. This part I was really nervous to do just because of what happened last week and having completely squished everywhere. I tried like 3 different bottles that I had and tried like using a pin to try to make sure that there was no blockages, but I really took my time to make sure it wouldn't explode. I only got a little bit of the glitter out, but not as much as I was initially hoping, so I think I might have to buy a new one. I don't really want to because I still have a lot of glitter glue in there. I don't really know what's wrong with those lids. Does anybody have any tips with those if you've used them before? Because I am stumped. So next I used the straw-like rope that was on the original card and just retied it in a new bow and put it at a corner here and swerved the longest piece to glue it so it looked like kind of like flowy, even though the straw was kind of not easy to make it look flowy, but I did my best. I put a bunch of these pearls to match the ribbon on top of that little area where I glued down the second part of the ribbon, because sometimes with my fabric tack it tends to explode a little bit bigger, so it's best to just cover it up with an extra thing. I thought these embellishments would work well. Then I realized that that key said October and it was just not going to work, so I ditched that idea. And then I realized, wait a second, I have a ring in my embellishment collection, and she just got engaged a few months ago, so I thought it'd be fun to try to incorporate that part of her life into her birthday card. And I kind of like how I did it. I think I probably should have measured out the cutting a little bit better, but overall, it ain't too bad for a first try, I think. I really had to hold this down to make sure it was going to glue properly, though. So, one of the last touches, I added this key. I thought it was really cute that it had a little heart on the inside too, to just kind of like tie back into the ring. Sadly, I didn't have a silver version of that, otherwise I typically would have done that or made the ring gold, but I didn't have a gold ring, so that's fine. And just scatter those around the dark purple flower as a little bit extra detail there. So, as a finishing touch, I added the brushed corduroy color of our Tim Holtz Distress ink, and it brought out more of the dark browns that are in the butterfly, so I really like that as a final touch. And there we go! That's another quick upcycling card. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week with the September bullet journal setup. Yeah, alright! Have a good day, guys. Bye.